Hello, hello, hello. Welcome! What's going on, everybody? Howdy. Welcome to another Plus One Daily. My name is John Olson. Honored, grateful, thankful that you have decided to spend a few minutes on this glorious Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Edmonton, Canada. We're supposed to be, what is it, the 4th of November? We're supposed to be under about a foot of snow by now. It's actually, what is it, like in the 70s or high 60s or something? I'm not really sure, but it's absolutely insane, the weather we're having. It's beautiful. It's absolutely fantastic. So we'll take it. We will take it. We will take it. We like warm weather here. Anyways, hope everybody's having a fantastic, fantastic day. I got something to talk about today. That's going to be a trip down memory lane. It's going to be a kind of a story. It's a story. It's story time with John. That's what today is. Story time with John. I want to explain to you guys a few things that happened in my life that brought me to this day, to become an entrepreneur, to work for myself, to work from home. Going on almost 20 years now, working from the comfort of my home, and I want to share a few things that happened that got me to this point. But not only that, but the pluses, the pros and cons of working for yourself. So why I chose this path, or this path chose me. But take you guys down a trip down memory lane, and maybe someone can go, hey, I had a similar experience like that when I was growing up, and this resonates with me. So, anyways, I was the world's worst student. Plain and simple, high school dropout, voted most likely to not succeed, hung out with all the wrong crowd, listened to all the wrong music, didn't do anything positive with my teenage years other than, being a teenager. I would go to certain classes when I was in high school. And I don't know what it works like where you're at in the world, but where I grew up, you had prerequisite classes and elective classes. So you had to pick certain courses where you get a high school credit, and the maths, the sciences, and all that stuff was prerequisite. But the electives was the stuff that you could choose. So one semester, I remember this. One semester, I was looking at the schedule and the courses that you could take. You gotta remember, I'm 16, 17 years old, maybe, a young buck, thinks he knows everything about everything, right, as most teenagers do. But I wanted to stick it to the man, right? I didn't want to work 9 to 5. I was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this. I want to hang out with my friends and listen to music all day. That's what I want to do with my life. I mean, just like any other teenager. But I'm looking at this course calendar. One of the courses really stuck out to me, and it was this class called entrepreneurship. And you got to remember, back then, having a course in high school called entrepreneurship was not a normal thing. And trust me, the class turnout proved that. I would go to this class, and literally there might have been 5 to 10 other kids taking this class. Like, it was not the popular class, right? Everybody was told you got to go to school, you got to get good marks in science and maths and Englishes, you got to get into university, then you're going to be, a successful career, and if you don't do that, you're going to end up working at Burger King for the rest of your life. That's what they tell you when you're growing up, right? But the entrepreneurship class really struck me, and it got me thinking, and I went and I did this course, and I was absolutely infatuated with what this lady was talking about. It was pretty funny because she was actually in business for herself. She was in music publishing. She worked for the ASCAPs, and it was called SOCAN in Canada, but it's ASCAP in the States. She worked for that, but she had her own little consulting firm, and she was the teacher for this class. So she was a high school teacher on one side, and on her time off, she was working on her business to get into music publishing. I was absolutely infatuated with what this lady was teaching. It was the one course. There was 2 courses in my high school years. I remember auto class because the teacher was amazing. But the second one was this entrepreneurship class. It blew me away. It was just like, there was something about it that fired me up, that just, I could not stop talking about it. And I was so, people used to like, oh, what are you taking that class for? It was just mind blowing. It was absolutely mind blowing. But it put something in my head that told me, you know what, dude? You're not very good at this high school thing, going to college and all that. You're not very good at working for anybody else. This entrepreneurship thing, it's your calling. And I come from, my father and my mother, they had split when I was relatively young, but I always, kept in contact with my dad. I would go to my dad's house on the weekends. And he was in the auto industry. He invested a lot of his life into the auto industry. And around this time is when the auto industry started tanking a little bit. And he lost his job. And I remember him saying this. And he said, you know what? It didn't let him stop, because he started his own consulting firm and became very successful from it. But I remember the talk he gave me. And he said, dude, he didn't say dude, he said son, right? But he said, you're never going to get rich working for someone else. And he was like, he had invested 30 years of his life in these companies. And then one day they just, poof, they disappear. Sound familiar, anybody? But he reinvented himself and said, you know what? If you want to be rich, and not rich monetarily wise, but rich in spirit, rich in life, rich in freedom, rich in loving what you do, you got to work for yourself. And when he told me this, it hit me. It really, really hit me. So those few, moments in my life kind of molded me into this rebellious dude. I didn't want to do the 9 to 5. And I remember when my son was born, the only thing I wanted to do was be around my kid each and every day. I didn't want to go to 9 to 5. I did not want to go commute. I did not want to be away from my son when he was growing up. That was the critical thing. And it's so funny, my son just texts me as soon as I say that. That's interesting how that works, huh? So, it was just like, that was my focus. And doing that allowed me to get into business for myself. Now, there's pros and cons, right? Pros and cons to working for yourself. One of the pros would be that, you have the freedom to do what you want. But the con of that is your customers also have the freedom to do what they want. So you got to look at it like this. You're blessed and lucky to be working for yourself, but you can't take it for granted, because it can change like that, as we know. So working for yourself, being an entrepreneur, they tell you there's tons of freedom. There's tons of awesome opportunities out there. You can be financially free, you can be spiritually free, you could do the stuff you love doing. But wait, there's more. There's also stress. There's PayPal issues. There's supply and logistics and customer service, and it's like you trade in the 40-hour work week for the 80-hour work week because you love it, because something in you fires you up, gets you pumped up for this stuff. And this is the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You get to, and I got a few things written down here. I'm going to focus on the pros. I'm not going to talk about the cons. Listen, the con to me is going and working 40 years for $40,000 a year and retiring with 40% of your income, the 40-40-40 plan. That to me is a con. That to me is the biggest risk you can take in life, doing that. So all of the cons of working for yourself, they pale in comparison to the benefits. And I'm going to talk about the benefits right now for the next few minutes. The freedom, I already talked about that. Now, a lot of people say that it's a monetary thing. Well, you get to make a lot of money and you get to, make more than you ever would working for anybody else. Results may vary, right? I mean, again, money isn't it's a big thing for working for yourself, but it shouldn't be the driving thing for working for yourself. The freedom for me back then was being around my son. The freedom for me now is to go on a trip when I want. I can just check my email. I have business partners that take care of stuff as well. The freedom for me is not just the monetary side, but the ability to come and talk to you guys every day, to hang out. And this is the freedom. That's the freedom. Not to be stuck behind a desk 24 hours a day. That, to me, is the freedom. That's a huge pro for being an entrepreneur. Second thing is you get to set your own schedule. Again, good and bad. You can be very lazy like some guys every now and again, me, myself, and I, who like to spend time playing video games and reading books rather than working on their business. But you get to set your own schedule. You can wake up. You can wake up when you want. You can go to bed when you want. You get to set your own schedule. The only person you're responsible to is your customers and yourself. And it's a lot of personal responsibility. So again, some people might look at that as a con. Oh, I just want to go punch my clock, my 12 8-hour shift or whatever. I'm okay with responsibility and saying, you know what? If my business fails or grows, it's up to me. You get to work where you like. Nick's going to Panama during the winter. He gets to work where he likes. What does he need? He needs an internet connection. That's basically it. Beautiful. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Or a solopreneur, as Kent said, and that's fine too. The important thing is that you get to choose where you're working. I get to work from the comfort of my home, in my basement. I don't have a man cave, I have a business cave. I have books everywhere. I have my treadmill here. I have my TV so I can work out and watch sports while I'm working out. I get to be around my computer's here, my microphone, everything's here. I get to choose where I'm working. Another thing, you get to choose with who you work with. A beautiful thing, right? Some people dread certain types of businesses. Oh, I don't want to work with this person because, or this person in this business, or that. You get to choose with who you work with. That's it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. You're choosing your niche. You're choosing your market. It's a beautiful thing. And I have Mookie too. Exactly, little Lord. Yes. Two other things here. I don't want to drag this on too much because I'm really fired up and I could talk about this for a year. But we'll try to keep it under 15 minutes here so I value your guys' time. Opportunity. This is the reason we're here, right? I mean, you think about it. You really think about it. The opportunity in 2016 with online stuff, online marketing, list building, branding, social marketing, you name it, is endless. It's absolutely endless. We are in such an awesome position right now that, you know, it's night and day to what it used to be. I mean, Nick was talking about, you know, how they didn't even have entrepreneur classes back then. Like, it was a brand new thing for me. I mean, imagine nowadays, the stuff that they're teaching kids, the opportunity that's out there is endless. And that is what drives us. I really think as entrepreneurs, that's what fires us up the most, is the what if factor. What if this works? What if this actually clicks? What if I start making money from this? What if this stuff absolutely crushes it? That's a huge win for us. And that's a big pro to being an entrepreneur, is the opportunity that's out there. No matter what business you decide to go into, whatever. I just read a story about a guy in Edmonton that is selling potatoes to people with little messages on it. He takes a Sharpie marker and writes down on a potato. It's called Tater Grams Canada. You don't believe me? Google it. The guy is actually selling potatoes with little eyes on it and a smiley face, and he sends people order these potatoes to people as a gift instead of cards. He's going after the greeting card thing, but I kid you not. I mean, so who would potatogram? Really? What? Are you smoking something? But it's an opportunity, right? I mean, it's endless. The stuff out there. It doesn't have to be as interesting or odd as that, or it could be a tip. There's so much stuff we can do. And finally, this is something that happened to me, and I remember, and this is the greatest feeling in the world when you're an entrepreneur. The sense of accomplishment, that first sale, that first aha moment that says, you know what? I'm on to something here. The feeling of accomplishment. When you get that first sale, that first referral, that first person to join your downline if you're into MLMs and stuff, that feeling of everything I have done has got me here, and bam, I can actually do this. Here is the proof that what I'm doing works. That feeling of accomplishment, I think, is another huge factor and a pro being an entrepreneur. Your dreams, everything you've planned for, all this stuff actually works. All this stuff actually can make me money. And it's not, you're not doing it to show, shove it in the face, not stick it to the man like I was saying earlier. You're doing it for a sense of accomplishment. I'm adding value to someone. Someone sees value in what I'm giving them. That is in essence of being an entrepreneur. It's absolutely amazing feeling. And anybody that's ever made their first sale online knows what that feels like. Listen, we could do anything in the world. Right? We can do anything in the world. We can work a 9 to 5. We can be entrepreneurs. We can be policemen. We can be firemen. We can be professional athletes. We can be authors. We can be singers. We can choose whatever we want to do. It's your life to choose it. I chose being an entrepreneur. To me, there's nothing better. And I hope you guys feel the same way. And I hope you guys have written down your reason why, exactly, Jen, that we talked about this past week, and the reasons why for your reasons why, what gets you pumped up, what gets you passionate. Entrepreneurship for me, it was a no-brainer back when I was a teenager, and 20 years now going on, it's still the greatest job I could ever ask for. Completely and utterly blessed to be here with you guys each and every day and rocking. So listen, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Do some soul searching. Do the little exercises I was talking about this week with your reasons why your reason why. And crush it. Absolutely crush it. And be passionate about what you're doing with your life. And I'm telling you, this journey is so worth it. Toodles, guys. Thanks for coming. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys Monday. Toodles.